Hey guys, it's not a secret to anyone that to become good at something, you need to practice. iRacing is not an exception, any sim racing is not basically nothing is an exception, you need to practice in order to be good. But how to practice? I can tell you straight away that just jumping to the races and racing is not a practice. Yes, you are becoming faster and faster through the time, but it is quite a slow way to become faster, and just practicing a race has a lot of downsides that I will mention during this video. But how do you practice then? Let me show you. So in iRacing UI, we need a test drive tab. We click on a test drive, we select the car that we want to practice, we select a track that we want to practice, not a rocket science. Then the weather. Weather tab is quite important, because quite often such a situation happens. You go to practice, and you try to make some corner just perfectly. And you make it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 5 times. So basically you're practicing it, and in some time you do everything exactly the same, but it doesn't work anymore. You are just, either you cannot take the turn, or you are just slower, and you are becoming upset because of it. You don't understand what's the problem, what are you doing wrong now, because you kind of do everything exactly the same, but it worked just 5 laps ago, but now it's not working. The weather is the problem. In most of the cases, it's about the weather. Wind speed, wind direction, and temperature actually affects how you drive quite a lot. Just because of the simple wind direction change, some corners are being taken differently now. So to avoid such a situation, because we are not practicing the race, we are not practicing the adjustments to the weather conditions, we are practicing the track, we are mastering the track or some particular technique. So that's why we definitely need a static weather, so we selected to static. Track conditions, you commonly want to set to 50% and disable this generate. And the weather itself, if you do have some comparison lap, then perfectly you just set the very same conditions as your comparison lap. So for example, I run with a P1 dock setup, so I just copy the conditions of the hot lap of the P1 dock setup. If you don't have a setup, you may just find some lap in a garage 61. You open the track that you are practicing, you are looking for a car that you are practicing, open a ranking, take one of the fastest laps, perfectly if it's a fixed setup. So for example, this one, it's a fixed setup, it's open analysis, so yep, why not take it? Just copy the conditions from here and you're good to go. Then we just click on a test drive. While you wait till the track is loaded, you can consider subscribing to my channel. And before going to the drive itself, we need to set up a couple of buttons. Going to the settings, search, and we need an active reset. Here it is, active reset, and there is 2 buttons: save start point, add reset to start point. I have these buttons already assigned. If you don't have these buttons assigned, you really need to make these buttons assigned and to use it. Why are we using the active reset in the first place? And it is very essential to use it. I highly encourage you to use the active reset. First and foremost, because active reset allows us to not to be afraid of crashing the car. Because if you went for a practice, you drove a couple of laps and you crash the car, you have to tow to the pits, you have to take a new car, you have to warm up the tires once again, you have to drive 2-3 laps in a row, you have almost full tank of the fuel again. It's just an unpleasant thing to do. And consciously or subconsciously, you just don't want to crash your car when you're practicing if you don't have an active reset set, and when you don't want to crash your car, you are not really trying something new. No one can do some technique perfectly from the first attempt. Definitely you will be crashing the car, definitely you will be spinning out. It's completely alright. You spin out, you click a reset button, and you reset at the point where you was driving. So we really need to use an active reset. Moving forward, clicking on test drive, and we are getting into the car. But don't rush to drive yet. So we need to click on the button Edit UI, and you need to make sure you have this layout set it up. So first of all, driver inputs. It is very essential thing to actually analyze how you are driving, to see what exactly you did with your inputs when you did good, and to see what exactly you did bad with your inputs when you crashed the car. Most probably you will have this UI, but it will be somewhere here, and it will be quite small and quite short. So I really encourage you to put it right here in between your windshield and the dashboard, because this way it is easy to watch it with your peripheral vision. Because when you are driving, you are looking somewhere at the track, and the track is right here. You are looking somewhere here, somewhere here, somewhere here, somewhere there, and when your eyes is looking somewhere on a track, it is not handy for you to put your eyes sometimes to the left bottom corner and to see what's up there. So you really need to make it convenient for you to see these graphs with your peripheral vision, and to not to put a lot of attention out of the track itself. So this place right here works just perfect for me. You can put it somewhere here, for example, maybe somewhere here, but basically you need to make it convenient for you to look at, not even to look at, but to have some glances to it. So you can just quickly check out and then return your eyes back on a track. So put it right here, set graph length to like 15 seconds. By default, it's like 7 or 6 seconds. Make it a bigger scale, make it really visible, I will even enable steering. So now when you do some inputs, you actually see them on a graph, and you can actually see how much throttle you give, how much braking you give, and when you trigger the ABS, it will be marked as a yellow on a brake trace. And the second thing is this widget. It shouldn't necessarily be somewhere for you to actually see it, but you should make sure that you have a button assigned to actually toggle it. So by default it is stop on the keyboard. I reassigned it on another button on my steering wheel, but basically you need to be able to switch it. And after you do all this stuff, you're good to go. So just start your car, don't need to warm up the tires somehow, don't need to do anything that you don't do in a usual race. And let me quickly show you how the active reset works. So basically you set an active reset by the button you assigned, you hear the sound, and then when you screwed up, because it's a cold tires or because you tried something new, you're not being upset and you are not towing to the pits. You just click on a button, on the second button that you have assigned, and you are back at where you was. Very easy, very handy, and quite essential when you are doing some training session. Just drive 2-3 laps until you warm up the tires. Most commonly the hot lap is lap number 3 or number 4. And after you have driven a few laps, so you warm up the tires, you get into your pace, you just set a new active reset just before the start-finish lane. So you can make this lap over and over again. Either you make a full lap, either you screwed up, so you just click on the reset button and you're returned back to the start of the lap. And how do you understand if you made something good or bad? Even if you had the delta widget when you are using the active reset, it is being resetted. So that's why I asked you to check if you have a button assigned for lap time, delta widget, and you need to click on it 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this delta is versus session best lap. So you can compare the lap according to your session best lap. And then when you will be driving, you can see by delta if you did something better than in your best lap or worse than in your best lap. So in this particular case, because I was speaking to you, I overslowed down and we can see that my delta is plus 0.3 of a second. So I did something wrong. Let me try to make it better. So this time I brake a bit later. Still not perfect, but you got the idea. I can see by the delta if I did something properly or I'm still doing something wrong. Another thing what I really encourage you to do is to set some baseline lap and to change only one thing at a time. Don't experiment every lap at every corner, because you really need some baselines to adjust. If each lap you are doing something differently, sometimes you're braking at 100 mark, sometimes you're braking at between 100 and 150, sometimes early, sometimes later, it is really hard for you to make some adjustments. Even if you look at some telemetry, you see that you should brake later. But how much later? Later according to what? On your previous run, when you braked at 100 meters mark, or the previous run, when you braked at 150? So first we do a baseline lap. Doesn't matter, is it fast or is it slow, just a baseline lap. So we find some particular references and some particular points when we are braking, where we are bringing the car to, and then we adjust them. Because in this corner, for example, I know that I brake in between 150 mark. And if I would open the telemetry and I will see that I'm braking too late or I'm braking too early, at least I have a point from which to change my reference and from which to change my braking. If I would experiment every lap, it just wouldn't be productive. Let me just see if I'm able to brake at 50 meters. Oh, okay, I actually can brake. Damn it, that's surprising. I actually can brake from 50, but my delta is red. My delta is plus 15. And if I brake from a little bit before the 50, it's already better. It's already better. But still, my delta is not that good. And if I brake even earlier in between 150, I see that this way I lose the least. Oh, actually I'm winning at time. But even if I would screw up, even if I would, you know, just start releasing the brakes too quick and crash the car, who cares? I'm just taking a new car. So don't be scared to experiment. I can try staying on a third gear here, for example, if I would like to. No, third gear does not work. So trying once again. I think you got the idea. And once you set some lap, once you did your very best, you just go to the pits. When you go to the pits, your laps is being updated on a garage, so you can go on a garage and either check a telemetry there, either just watch your replay yourself, so you can see how much track you are using, you can see where you are opening a throttle. So for example, here it is quite late on opening the throttle. I know that perfectly I should open a throttle already when my front tires are approximately here, so that's something to work on. You can actually see your track usage. So for example, here I undertook the track on the right, then I could have been taken more of a curb here, and that's how you analyze your own driving. That is it guys, that's how you practice productively. If you want some workshop on how to work with telemetry, I would be glad to make such a video, so write in the comments that please telemetry workshop, when I will compare my telemetry to setup shop telemetry and will show how actually I train. Press a like if it was helpful video, and if you do have some other videos ideas, just drop a comment what should I shoot. Thanks for watching, see you on track.